my opinion, our generation, the F87, M2, and M2, competition CS, kind of has an E46 feel to it in a way, a 1M feel to it in a way. This car, say bye to that.
BMW, you did not make this one as good as the last one. It's the first impression that's everything. My first impressions of the car, not that impressed.
Okay, so as you can see here, we've got it, the G87. This is the new one. Although a little heavier, the performance is supposed to have improved. But do we like the F87 or do we like the G87? Plenty of ventilation, rectangular front grills instead of the long grills, plenty of additional cooling opportunities. As you can see a little bit closer, 453 horsepower versus 405 horsepower. It's got the aggressive dome on the front hood, the bonnet, and let's take a look at the profile. Okay, take a look. You can see that the stance is a little aggressive. It's got the wide hips. The color takes on a different hue as you move around. It's got a blue base and like bronze tinges when you kind of look at it from an angle. It reflects. It's got like a fluorescence to it, which is a little hard to pick up in the fall light here. I gotta know who. Somebody from BMW must have drove this up from down by the factory. One significant upgrade is the carbon bucket seats for the M2. They're really comfortable. They're really good. I've driven them in the G82s, and they're lovely. What I don't like, I don't know if you can see it, it's a digital dash. No more analog. No more analog dials. That old sports car feel is gone. You've entered the computer age 110% with the 87, the G87. So you lose that analog feel, which was what a lot of the enthusiasts liked about the F-Series, the F87. People liked the analog feel, the throwback feel to the glory days of the M car. This car is an evolution from that, but it's a big step away from that analog feel of the former F-Series and before. Carbon fiber reinforced plastic.
But he's got the buckets too. He's got the carbon buckets.
Nice.
See how it digs into like the M4 roof?
Yeah, look, and this is a tough one to reproduce because it's got like this ridge going right up across. Yeah. Take a good look. Here's the controversial back. Okay, so you can see that there's a little bit of a difference in the shape of the rear deck compared to the F87. It's got a little bit more of a rounded trunk line. It's a completely different trunk line. Has the indent up near where the spoiler is to give it an aggressive look. The taillights are of a different design than the F87. And this is where some people are polarized. And some people express their displeasure. It does not look as bad in person. It still looks good. That's just my opinion.
That to me is like, this is like F87, G87 combination right here. I mean, we have the same vertical reflectors on the bottom side of our bumper. Right. But the difference here is this. I don't like these
the fisheye.
Yeah, I don't like that at all.
It's kind of small. It's kind of offset a little bit to the side.
A little small. Honestly.
Little small.
Yeah, but not awful.
Not awful. I like it.
Carbon roof comes with, I mean, what, like standard? I mean...
Is the carbon roof standard now?
I'm not sure.
Well, we certainly get it as an option.
Yeah.
But I saw the new M Performance parts also.
Mm-hmm. With the crazy decals.
I kind of like it.
I actually like that car, but in my opinion, our generation, the F87, M2, and M2, competition CS, kind of has an E46 feel to it in a way, a 1M feel to it in a way. This car, say bye to that. I mean, it's different. I don't hate it, but we lose that small, compact E46-esque feeling.
Yes, she's gained weight.
Yeah, she definitely gained weight, even with the carbon roof. I mean,
Even with the carbon, well, that's the concern. A lot of BMW people on the blogs have talked about the weight gain.
I mean, it's a bigger car. Look, it's a way bigger car. At least it looks like a bigger car.
It does look like a bigger car.
Dimensionally, I don't actually know. I mean, how much bigger is it really?
It's a definite step away from the M, from the M, the 1M.
Yeah, that's the car that got me inspired was the 1M.
Yeah.
And that's why eventually when I had the means, you get the M2. But this is more M4-ish to me than M2-ish or 1M-ish.
I bought the 128 when it came out. I had an option to get the M. Sadly, didn't take it. And I was so impressed with what a little go-kart the 1 Series was.
Even the 128, yeah.
It was a total go-kart. And I think that was the idea behind going for the M2 in the M2 competition, is to kind of go back into that type of a small little go-kart.
Go back in time.
Go back in time, that tight turning ratio, superior braking, superior handling. My only regret with BMW is that they still don't use the hydraulic steering, that I get the sensation of the road through the steering wheel.
Oh, we lose all of the driver's feel. I mean, even in our cars, I think you can modify our cars to change that. But yeah, we lose a lot of that handling feel for sure.
Yeah, so there's the loss in the growth in size, which affects that little go-kart feel that you had with the 1M. And that instead you've got a very muscle car exterior. This is a muscle car now.
To me, this is more of an M4 than an M2. That's my opinion. I just think I think that this
It does.
This feels like the F82 M4. That's what it feels to me. I feel.
Yeah, little sister to the G82.
Yeah.
So they shrunk it down a little bit there.
Yeah.
And they stepped away. Well, listen, BMW, it seems like they take designs, they put them out there for 5 years, 6 years, and then that design becomes etched in history.
Yeah.
And then the next one comes out, which is even better in so many ways.
Yeah.
So each generation goes into its little place in history.
Absolutely.
So I'm sure that this car is going to be well worth it for anybody who's willing to dive down the bucks.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, there's an increase in weight and an increase in price too.
And an increase in horsepower. I mean, this has CS horsepower, doesn't it?
This does have just
450?
a little bit more than the CS, no?
Yeah, right. I think so.
Now, how about that? The CS was going for like 85, 90 grand.
Yeah.
That's probably about what this goes for, loaded up too.
Yeah, with options and everything.
With options and everything, you're still talking like US dollars, about 85,000.
A slight concern, I mean, just off looking at it, this is a lot of stuff that can fly in here. I mean, I don't know. It just seems like maybe they could use some mesh to protect that. But
Yeah,
that's
this
just
is
an initial thought.
absolutely going to need some mesh protection. Now look, it has a lower radiator heat exchanger. Yeah, this is going to need some protection.
Yeah.
So right away,
That looks like a potential
we're looking at some aftermarket for this series as well.
Yeah.
Ollie with the Whole King. I got OG Adam. Got to check out OG Adam's channel. I'll link to it below. OG, you saw the new M2. Let me get your guys' thoughts.
I mean, listen, I think when you do something right, you got to stick to it. BMW, you did not make this one as good as the last one. It's the first impression that's everything. My first impressions of the car, not that impressed. I do think it will grow on me as time goes on, but it didn't hit the same way the original M2 did.
What's the first thing that didn't impress you? That's impressive.
Right?
That was impressive.
S55.
I think it's just a box design on the front bumper and The silhouette is just not there for me.
The rectangular front design doesn't
right.
do it for you.
Not exactly.
What'd you think, Ali?
I'm with Adam 100%. I definitely don't like this one. The rear, I don't mind looking at it in the rear. The red is nice and wide,
With the blue.
but that front, too boxy, too squared up.
What do they call that blue?
Oh shit.
Time to go.
Your tail design of that M2.
I think if they made a little bit more of an effort to hide the reflectors, it would have looked a little bit better. But the whole integration of that reflector with the rear sensor and the corners of the bumper having like that edge, I don't agree with. That's really, I think, the biggest flaw with that car. Too many edges.
Too many edges. Rectangular designs instead of the rounded grills, the rounded design, for sure. This was my big decision here. Should I F87 or should I G87? Okay? And let's talk about the finance rates of the G87. And talk about paying 5% for those of you, or 6% for those of you who are thinking of financing this new baby. Is it worth it? Hell yeah, it's worth it. Is it a car to have? Oh, heck yeah. Does it look good? Yes, it does. Are people who haven't seen it making excuses? Well, teach their own, man. If you like it, it's all good. If you don't, it's all good. But it does look good in person. There's nothing polarizing about it like with the G80s and 82s. The G80s and 82s, people had a legitimate gripe with the front grille.
This has to be a BMW.
Well,
Why do they film me?
they heard you. They heard you. And this one don't have a long grill. But they got you. They got you anyway by changing the shape. Because nothing stays the same, and you don't want the same. You want something a little different. So there's nothing wrong with having a little different. But is the G87 the car for me? Well, when you're in love with your F87, then probably not. If you're in love with your other BMWs, well, that's all that matters. But there's nothing in this car that I could say is awful.